He was furious after the round 13 defeat to Castro. His starting 15 looks more like... Now we're going to backtrack and I'm going to read everything I didn't get a chance to. Oh my God, all of a sudden we get shots. But there's no point putting him in now, is there? We'll go as we were. Yeah, is that what you're thinking, Tom?
Thanks, mate.
Go well done. That first one was done to go, I think.
Brive et animations pour des photos, des dédicaces à la boutique du stadium.
Round 14 of the top 14 comes from the Limousin region of France, where the 11th place Brive play host to the 13th place Lyon. Brive had a cracking start to the season. 5 weeks in, they were hanging out in the dizzy heights of the top 4, but they've been brought down to earth since. Away wins thin on the ground. The Corréziens are still, however, looking up the table rather than down. Compare that to the newly promoted Lyon. Perhaps understandably, they're focused on avoiding relegation. They're just 6 points above the drop zone as it stands. One of the toughest places to visit in the top 14, the Stade Amadei Domenech, is something of a fortress for Brive. Just one loss here in their last 17 games. Freddie Michalak's Lyon are the visitors. We kick off shortly. Round 14 got underway last night at the Stade des Alpes. Last place going in, Grenoble, were up against Toulouse, who began the week just outside the top 6. And it was a vital victory for Bernard Jackman's Grenoble. Just their 3rd win of the season, an absolute thriller to haul them off the foot of the table. A losing bonus point for Toulouse puts them back in the barrage spots for the time being. But it was a much-needed win for Grenoble. Here's the table as it stands. It's very tight indeed. Just 9 points separate the top 8. League leaders Clermont, they're 4 points clear of Montpellier, who in turn are just a point ahead of Toulon and La Rochelle. Toulouse and Castres round out the top 6. Brive are 10th as it stands, with today's opponents Lyon 3 points further back in 12th spot. That win for Grenoble last night has really put the pressure on Lyon. Their 10-point buffer above the relegation zone has been reduced to just 6. So here are all the fixtures for the Christmas round. 4 games kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. League leaders Clermont host 9th place Stade Francais at the Marcel Michelin. 8th place Bordeaux-Bègles play Pau at the Stade Chaban-Delmas. Pau really need a win. A crucial home game for last place Bayonne against La Rochelle. Both Racing and Castres could jump into the top 4 with a win in Paris. The late kickoff, perhaps the game of the round, is Montpellier against Toulon at the Eltrad. Now, Brive head coach Nick Godignon has picked the following side. Regular captain Arnaud Mele is out. Watch out for big ball carrier and offloader Cesaro Koyamambale to give the go forward from number 8. The back line, well, it's more pragmatic than pyrotechnic. Fullback Gaëtan Germain, he's the leading point scorer in the league. USA Eagle star Zian Guenya could provide the spark from the right wing. Alongside me tonight, former England Lions scrum half Dowie Morris. What can we expect from Brive tonight, Dowie?
I think a very pragmatic approach. You know, Germain, you mentioned, kicks the points. They play a control game. They make, on average per game, the fewest carries, fewest meters, fewest passes. But they've only lost 1 game at home all season.
Lyon boss Pierre Mignoni said he was furious after the round 13 defeat to Castres. His starting 15 looks about as strong as he can make it. Julien Puricelli, he's the leading line-out forward in the comp. He skippers the side. No Carl Ferns tonight. Tai Tuifua is in at number 8 for him. Freddie Michalak leads the back line. Dylan Armitage is at full back.
And they're 3 losses on the spin. They have to start winning this game. And you mentioned the maverick Michalak at 9, but he'll need the likes of Brive, Puricelli, Tuifua to really give him a platform so he can unload these backs and actually encourage his forwards to make some dents into this Brive side.
And here are the teams in the tunnel. Julien Puricelli there, the Lyon captain, on the right of picture. The top 14's leading line out forward. And there's Saïd Iresh, who leads Brive today in the absence of Arnaud Mella. Both teams coming in off a loss. Brive fell away from home to Toulouse before the European fortnight. Lyon had a narrow home loss to Castres at their Matmut Stadium. These two actually met in the opening round of the weekend, of the competition rather, and it ended in a 15-all draw. Freddie Michalak and Gaëtan Germain sharing the points with 5 penalties each.
Well, hopefully we get a better game than that. It was just penalties, but both sides occasion, of course, with Grenoble winning last night against Toulouse, it puts the pressure on the likes of Lyon. They're just wanting survival. Brive, I don't think, can actually have the money or the power really to actually get at the table and get into the top 6. So they're looking for some mid-table mediocrity. But we hope we could have a Christmas cracker tonight. We hope.
We hope, as always, Dowie. I know you'll be full of Christmas cheer this time of year, no doubt, as will Alexandre Ruiz, the French referee with a Spanish name. He refereed the Olympic Games in the Rugby Sevens in Rio earlier this year. Mike Harris gets us underway. This is round 14 of the top 14, and it's brought down by Nicolas Bézy, the Brive fly half, and playing inside him today is Teddy Irabaren, and there's Dylan Armitage with his first touch. Freddie Michalak at scrum half for Lyon, playing in their red chain strip tonight, and that box kick, you may well be seeing a lot of that today. Not a damp night, 4 degrees on the ground in Brive tonight, but dry conditions, and if they do choose to move the ball around these two teams, well, the conditions are certainly suited to it. But Mike Harris plays the percentages early on and kicks the ball into the Brive half.
Yeah, the conditions aren't bad at all, like 4 degrees, as you said, so it's well workable. But I think you've just seen the pattern of the game. This is how cagey both sides are going to be. The Nine's box kicking very well. Bézy's a good box kicker. We know Michalak can kick into the corners, plus a good box kick as well. We can see Privet there. Privat, he's looking to have some control with his forwards. It'll come down to the tight exchanges, not letting the likes of Kumbayoli or Wagabaruta get that ball, to get it offloading from Brive point of view.
So an opening line-out win for the home team, brought down by Saïd Iresh, the Algerian captain. Brive in the European Challenge Cup the last couple of weeks, in the absence of Arnaud Mella. He's been given the armband once again. And here is that man, the big number 8, Koya Mboli.
And Lyon know he's going to come around the corner. That's a good turnover.
Turnover for the visiting side, Lyon, and they choose to spread it off turnover ball. That was Theo Balan running into contact, and here's a good run from Tai Tuifua, who starts tonight for Lyon in the place of Carl Ferns, and Mike Harris.
Pas l'avantage, on part devant, on joue le jeu au pied de 6. On revient
Looks
sur
for
le
the kick
plaquage.
pass, but it wasn't going to go to the man, so the referee Alex Ruiz comes back for the original penalty decision.
But good line speed from Lyon off that initial line-out drive. Koima Bole, they know his strength. All Sale supporters do that, slightly high. That's what we're coming back from, was Harris kicks to the corner. The person was in front. So you can see that it's number 4. That's a good steal from Lyon. That's Lambert.
Yeah, Felix Lambert.
Absolutely, and he got a great opportunity. Now it's a good start from Lyon. They've kicked well, turned the ball over, and now Michalak will have a chance.
The high shot there that led to this penalty from the Brive number 12, Sevenaya Galala, Fiji-born, was actually sent off for the Fiji under-20s against New Zealand a few years ago. But here's Freddie Michalak, France's all-time leading point scorer in Rugby World Cups. Can he get his team on the board first up here in Brive? Yes, he can. So a good start for Lyon, and with the pressure that's been put on them by Grenoble beating Toulouse last night, just 6 points behind them now. They will have wanted to start well for some confidence now.
It's a great start, and that's why you pay the big bucks for the likes of Michalak. He will kick those goals. You give him a platform, he will run the game. So it's all, pragmatism is great, and that's what Brive show throughout this league. Albeit, like I said, they've only lost one game at home, so they'll just absorb this. Lyon will have to do a little bit more, I think. Some big forwards, but it'll be up to Michalak. Can they give him that platform?
He gets the platform he wants. Freddie Michalak didn't quite go as far as he wanted that kick, but fair enough, he got it safely into touch.
That's great play from Michalak again. He's telling his forwards, don't go outside the 22 to bring the ball back inside. I can kick then directly to touch. And look, they're walking to these lineouts. The communication is there. Both teams like to play almost at this pace. So again, it's a good start. Only 3 on the board, but I mean, we could have quite a robust game. It might not be the most beautiful of games, but quite robust.
He had a couple of cracking performances this season as Freddie Michalak. Home game against Toulon back on November 6. He pretty much kicked everything, ran the show from scrum half, and show some of that form again tonight. They'll be in a pretty good place, but Brive had latched onto that one. However, the referee will bring it back for the original knock-on scrum feed to Lyon.
Yeah, and Brive like just to pod themselves around, do the simple things well, as Mr. Sean Fitzpatrick would say, and it works for them. They keep the scrum good, they keep the line out good, they just come around, they use their big runners, and they try and hold on to the ball. But like I said, the averages per game in the top 40, they do the fewest carries. That means they kick a lot, fewest meters obviously there, and the fewest passes. So, it seems to work for them. If they haven't got any aspirations to get top 6, and they obviously don't want to get relegated, they'll fill into this middle role and middle ground until some more investment comes in or some better players come to the team.
And some power coming on at that scrum from the home team.
Absolutely.
They were looking for the decision, but Alex Ruiz says no. I like a good contest. We'll reset and have another one.
Sebastian Bruno, ex of Toulon, ex of Sale, obviously. Philippe brought him there. It's not a place you'd like to be, would it? It's like Christmas shopping. And you're going for those all last-minute presents and sales, and you're getting crushed in the middle.
There was Francisco Gomez-Cordea, the Lyon tight head, who's under all sorts of pressure there, and once again the power comes on from the Brive front 8, and this time you can see the round of applause from the big number 8. Koya Mobale saying, well done front 5, you've won us a shot at 3.
Right in front. Good power. Pretty good purchase. As he's trying to just some sods of earth down, but you can see it once they've got it on. Lyon go up in the air, and as soon as they go up in the air, the referee is saying play it, Lyon. Unfortunately, he gets caught in the 8's feet. Tuafua can't get it out. In the olden days, well, it's not the olden days, the old sort of terms of scrummaging, that would have been given much earlier than that.
One thing we should mention is the loose head prop on that side, you see, putting all the power on there. Vivian Dervezim, his first start in the top 14 from the Perpignan Academy, joined Brive in the summer. So he has been a late change for Karlan Asheshishvili on the loose head side for Brive, and he's made a great start. Well, here is the leading point scorer in the top 14, Gaëtan Germain, 175 points so far this season. Kicks at 89%, and, well, that's meat and potatoes for Germain.
And he can kick it from much further than that, on the angle, going back. Again, he's a must-have if you play this conservative game that Brive like to do. He can almost guarantee 3 points every time. And it's too lazy kick. Michalak exactly the same, isn't it? Just that languid look and bump over it goes, and these two. We hope it's not going to be a kick fest. I hope there'll be a bit more than that.
So 3 each at the start. Amadei Domenech inside the first 8 minutes. Really is an impressive home record they have here. Brive, just one loss in their last 17 at home. That was to Clermont back in round 9. They really have turned this place into a fortress. And Lyon, by contrast, well, they haven't won away from home in the top 14 since 2011. So you put those two stats together and you think, well, on paper, it looks like a home win now.
But they're also going to struggle. Like I said, they're 3 on the bounce now. Their last win was at home 4 games ago in the league against Toulon, so they simply have to do it. And it's, I mean, it's not many points, is there, between the sort of top 6 sides and equally down the bottom, with everyone scrambling for, you know, to get out of the relegation area. And it happens year after year with 2 getting relegated. I know the rules have slightly been changed this year, but there's still so much pressure, so much investment, and that's what, you know, managers, coaches, owners want from their players. You know, we don't want to be around this bottom area. And there's one lad who's trying to get him out of it, Michalak, and again just forcing that pass. But again, he's defying his age. He still likes to just dance around Brive, because couldn't quite read him though.
37 years old.
No, that's amazing.
Brive, thanks for the pass, Freddie. Well, if they're going to have success tonight, Lyon, you imagine they've got to get their set piece sorted out and get it sorted out quickly. Right now, both at scrum and line-outs, the team in red are under all sorts of pressure. Another scrum penalty to Brive. That's 2 in a row. And you can see that, that's 2 in a row, exactly. Now the referee's got this, not on the back of his mind, it's in the front of his mind. Koya Mboli was talking to Bez, don't go quick, don't go quick. Jermaine possibly could have a go from here. He's kicked further than this. Again, I think what they will do, they'll squeeze it into the corner. Again, be a good set from the line out and just maul into the midfield and take the points and offer, build a lead, 3, 6, 9, 12. And that's only going one way. And it's not good. If I was a Lyon supporter now looking at the clock, what, just 10 minutes gone and already two penalties at scrum time. There's no place to go. They haven't got a place of comfort. There is the Brive coaching staff of Nicolas Gorignon, the forwards coach Didier Cassadze and the backs coach Philippe Carbonneau. Brive with a clean line out in attacking position. Here's Koya Mbale with the big Bosch in midfield. They'll go the same way. Teddy Ibarren, but scrum half today. And here's a hit up from Julien Ledevedec. Koya Mbale puts his hand up once again, leads the team for offloads this season. There's Koya Mbale, 48 Fiji caps, and a chance here on the near side is there, but it's well wrapped up by Hamani Paya. Hamani Paya playing inside centre tonight for Lyon. Often see him in the 13 shirt. But Brive happy here to go through the phases. Here's a good run here from Joe Sneyman, and he gives it off, and there's a chance here for Brive. They're just a few metres out now. Can they make it pay, Brive? Referee Alex Ruiz said we'll have a look at that one.
Vidéo. Hey, stop. Vidéo. Philippe. Pour moi, le touche à terre, il est bon. J'aimerais vérifier si le 3, quand il fait le touche à terre, quand il récupère le ballon, si le gars est dans la mêlée spontanée et qu'en fait, il est en jeu. Donc, je te pose la deuxième question. Y a-t-il une raison de refuser cet essai? En conséquent, regardez si le joueur est en jeu quand il récupère le ballon.
Well, that's quite straightforward. Any reason why you can't? But actually, I've got to look. Well, I hope our host broadcasters do. The actual break by Sneyman, I think he used a leading arm to clear. I think he must have been the fullback, possibly Armitage out the way initially. Just wants to. Any reason why he can't roll a try?
Well, if he's asked that question, Dowie, he must think they've scored it.
That's absolutely right, and I would suggest they have. The big Samoan crushes over.
Well, from that angle,
Bessie was trying to get the ball, he wasn't going to get it off him.
Patrick Toetu, all 140 kilograms of him, has found a way over the try line.
J'aimerais voir le plan de derrière, ou est-ce que le 9 là-dessus du 9 par rapport
Sorry, it was tremendous done. Not only obviously doing his day job, he's on extra time. I hope he gets double pay for this one, because above in the Call of Duty is nice and tight, and all of a sudden he picks it up fine. Normally you can't pick it up behind the back foot. Is he hanging on the side? These are all things that TMO wants to look at. I think the grounding is fine.
Le 9 n'est pas lié avec lui, donc les derniers essais.
He's going to give it, and he has.
Well, in some ways that's fitting, because it was the Brive scrum that has led to the field position. And it's the big tight head prop, Patrick Toetu, who has gone over for the home team's first try, and that is well deserved.
It was well deserved. It was that big break from Sneijman. Whether we see it again, here we go. Just watch this now. I may have got it wrong. That's okay. I thought he actually led a little bit more than that. Actually, he's just driven with his shoulder. And I'm sure it was Armitage that got bounced off. That was a superb break right up the middle, and that's what Brive have been lacking so much this year. The close exchanges they're pretty good at. They just lack busting defences open, and when they do that, it becomes quite easy. And this man ain't going to miss this.
No chance of that. 10-3 to the home side. Jaman adding the extras. Joe Sneijman, all 6'7" of him, born in South Africa in Pretoria. And here is his run once again. It was Dylan Armitage. He tried to go high. Sit down, Dylan. Then the offload. And from there, it was just holding onto the ball.
Well, that's right. The damage has been done. Involved initially. The Lyon hooker couldn't stop Sneijman. He's bust through, and then it's just a matter of time or a matter of direction for Bezzy. Bezzy was pushed out the way by Tuitua, and they score a great try.
Benito Masalevu running out that one, and here's Teddy Iribaren. Kicks it deep into the Lyon half, but they go quickly through Armitage, and Mike Harris here looks over the top to the far side, and Theo Balan. And here's Lambe, Felix Lambe, the second rower. Harris once again checks off the right foot, finds a half gap, and he's just brought down by Waikana Burutsu. Sneijman, I think, actually, with the tackle. So a couple of very good touches with Joe Sneijman. Michalak sees a little space in behind, chips over the top, and it's Masalevu once more who comes back, and he'll shovel it off to Gaëtan Jaman. Here's Armitage. Back to Harris, and the little banana kick off the outside of the boot, and that was nicely done.
Lovely done. He's a big presence on the field, isn't he, Mike Harris, ex-Rebel. He knows what he wants, and this is a bit of skill. Knowing exactly what he's doing all the time, just calming things down. Just lacking a little bit of possession. It's nice to get the hands on the ball.
Here's the injured list for Brive.
Yeah, they haven't got the biggest of squads either, but they seem to survive. Small town, big heart, tremendous reputation and history. Ooh. See, that's illegal from Ivaldi there, but to the hooker, ex-Toulon hooker. He's actually gone in, and he hasn't tried, from me, he's not tried to wrap his arms around.
Referee seems happy with it. They play on for the time being. Dylan Armitage again will return that kick with a little bit of interest. The scrum half, Iribaren, puts it onto his left foot and finds touch. Handle the player, this young man, Teddy Iribaren. He's off to Racing 92 next season, out of the Toulouse Academy originally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obviously, they see something in him. I don't know, Racing not going too well, are they? Hit the buffers, the champs. It happens with Paris teams, isn't it? When Stade won it, they went from almost heroes to zeros. They were down at the bottom of the league last year, fighting for their survival. I don't think Racing will be there. They've just had, it's almost like you are champions. You get picked on every ground you come to. Everyone wants a piece of you.
Michael Ivaldi feeds this line out. That's his skipper, Julian Porticelli, 35-year-old, brings it down, and Lyon will set up the line-out drive here, and they've won a decision, and the referee wants a chat. Perhaps there was an incident after the ball was taken down in the line-out.
Je vous fais la remarque d'entrée de match sur la première mêlée, je ne demande pas de provoquer. Ensuite, il y a une séance de pick and go du 2. Non, c'est bon, monsieur. Du 1, vous vous accrochez avec le 2 au sol. Ensuite, là, sur le maul, vous vous accrochez encore avec le 4. Je crois que ça fait 16 minutes qu'on joue. Si vous voulez pas partir à Noël dès maintenant, restez concentrés s'il vous plaît.
I think Reeves is aggrieved with what Ivaldi did to him. And he carried the ball around from a maul
On va à la
before.
faute, rentre sur le côté le 3.
Reeves, Michalak.
D'accord.
I think he's going to go, well, he will always go for 3, but Reeves sort of discipline record isn't the best. Should we see what happens? You see Reeves going in there. That looks right. Lambie's trying to get rid of
A
it.
little bit of afters on Lambie, yeah, on the far side. He was holding on to him. I think the Brive hooker reacted, and
On n'attrape pas les maillots autour des
I
molles,
think
autour des rucks. Ça marche?
Alexander Ruiz, the referee, just wants to put his mark on the
Fair
game
enough,
early and
yeah.
say, no silly stuff, chaps.
Yeah, fair enough, no problem.
End result is it's a chance for Lyon to get it within 4 points. And Freddie Michalak makes no mistake, and perhaps the Brive discipline. They average 2 yellow cards a game. They're one of the most penalised sides in the top 14, and that's certainly one part of the game they're going to have to fix pretty sharpish. Otherwise, they're going to give up 3 points.
Yeah, because Lyon are going to stay in this game. I don't think there's any danger of that. The importance, like I mentioned again, the Grenoble beating Toulouse. Lyon go to the bottom, Grenoble just get off the base, and Lyon are down there. And they just want to get themselves a little bit of comfort zone with these sort of Christmas fixtures coming on. They've got Bordeaux at home, Pau away. They've got to sort of target the Pau game.
Yeah, Pau just above them on the table as it stands is Gaëtan Germain, the Brive fullback, and happy to run into contact this time. And they'll try and go through the phases here. There's Guillaume Reeves, the penalised hooker from a little earlier. And Basie with the cross kick in the direction of Dylan Armitage. His feet were behind the line, so he's well entitled to pick that ball up and tap it
Ballon en
down.
mouvement. On le capte, c'est bon.
Here's a look at Lyon's fixtures coming up. You mentioned that home clash against Bordeaux-Bègles, that away game at Pau. That's one that you think they might be targeting, Dowie.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, you've got to marshal your teams. It's a bit like I mentioned the Grenoble win the week before that. Bernard Jackman sent a skeleton squad to the Ospreys. They got pumped, 11 tries, 70-odd points, because you've got to manage. Unless you're one of the big boys with the obscene squads, this is what you've got to do, because every week it's absolutely attritional. It takes it out of you. So you've got to, even though it's we're round 14 now, there's plenty of time to go, but you've just got to pick up those points. It's so close. It is every year.
Option, s'il vous plaît.
And this big fella keeps coming at you, and that's what they've got to stop. You've got to. There's 3 of them on him. He's trying to chop his legs down, but there's such big tree trunks, he just blasts you out of the way, and you go high, and those big arms blast you out of the way. And the result again, as you mentioned before, with Michalak with 3, this isn't quite a give me, but just no wind, conditions good, your kicking foot is okay. This should be a 7-9.
He really is a force of nature, isn't he, Cesaro Koyumumbale? 128 carries this season so far, ahead of this match. And for this man, Germain, it's all about picking up points, and he's better than anybody in French rugby at doing it. And once again, from out wide and distant, Germain gets it done.
I see it year after year, time after time, game after game. And why change the plan in a sense? He's almost going into the opposition and almost trying to buy penalty or a chance of a penalty. So the coaching staff look on, that's their formula, that's his formula, and Brive are comfortable with it. So Lyon, you're going to have to come out and ask them to do more. And the only reason that's going to happen, you're going to get a couple of tries yourself.
7-point difference restored for Brive.
You just see that one again, Rupert, there. They've just got a point, so they're not going to mess around. They're not going to give Lyon a chance to get back in the game. They want to... That's exactly it. Make Lyon commit something, or not so much a foul, but a bad bit of play. That's what's happened. Basie kicks the ball tremendously long on the exit strategy. Harris tries to do the banana kick again, which didn't work, and look where they are. He's loved in France, the pantomime villain. Have they ever forgot what he did to Brock James, scoring that try for Toulon
in Dublin? I don't think he would forget that. He won't care. He scored a try in a Heineken Cup final.
He does wear it on his sleeve, his heart, and sometimes he can go over. Aggressive player. He's a good player. Could have played for England a few more times if he could have kept possibly that aggression under lock and key. But you know, that's the game we watch and we have played, and we all love the characters, and he certainly is a character.
26 England caps for Dylan Armitage, and a live little run slightly across field from Teddy Iribarren as Brive crawl into the Lyon side of their 10-metre line. Decision though coming to Lyon at the breakdown there, and it's
Le 8 est premier au contest en garde au sol.
pats on the back for the Lyon number 8, Tai Tuifua.
He did well. He's the only survivor from the game up in Newcastle. He wants the game time, and he did well. He bent his back, and he's very, very brave. Again, Brive were just looking to build on this lead. They were quite happy. They just want to keep people honest in the sense they have to make their tackles and try and buy some penalties. But it didn't work that time because, again, the big Samoan bent his back, got in there. He was supporting his own weight and has stopped the black onslaught for once.
No Carl Ferns tonight for Lyon, not on the injured list and not appearing. Recently announced he's signing for Gloucester next year. Is anything in that as to why he's not playing tonight, Darwin?
Mate, he's been their form, one of their form guys. Bonnet is out with a calf strain, we know that. Julien Bonnet from Clermont has been very influential around the scenes. Carl Ferns has been outstanding, and he didn't really want, obviously we want to go into that, didn't want to leave Bath. He's coming back to Gloucester. I think it's been tremendous for Gloucester, the likes of Moriarty, Morgan and him combined with a few youngsters would be great, and the shed I'm sure will appreciate him as this Lyon crowd has. I don't know, I hope there's nothing sinister and he's not being played because he's going, because I think he's worth his weight every time he goes out in a red shirt or a black one.
Well, the black shirts going in with the big tackles here on Lyon. That was Benito Masalebu following up from Savanaya Galala, but he's got them for going off their feet. There's Alex Ruiz, and there's something's happened.
Armitage again's in on it. He started it. Oh, you didn't want to do that. Again, it was a correct penalty. It's off the feet. It's what happened afterwards. Michalak's all smiles.
Well, Koyo Mbale wasn't happy at all. Armitage came flying in.
Well, they had the ball, they had a good opportunity on the 22, and you've got to say the Brive line speed was outstanding. They were hitting him in the ruck, they didn't quite like that. Ruiz needs to have a word with his TMO to have a look exactly what's gone on. All I can see was a red 15 coming in. We all know who that was.
I did hear the number cams. I believe that's 15 that Dylan Armitage has on his back, so well, and he's walking in that direction, the referee.
He has got a reputation, Dylan. And here we go. Right, so Privat goes in. He's giving it to Payet. That's a big hit.
Nothing wrong so far.
No, that's fine. That's okay. Hit on Harris. And now this is where Brive go off their feet. That's okay. Watch Armitage there.
Oh yeah, the little pull on the back of Nicolas Basie. Basie actually reacted, so a little tug on the collar, wasn't it?
I've got to say that was Basie, really. Armitage didn't do a great deal. He's just held him back a little bit, and Basie's hit him on the back of the neck. I think a penalty will suffice.
Well, it's often the retaliator who gets done in these situations, and there is... Well, Basie was holding on to him. Dylan said, I don't like that, thank you very much, and Basie had another go.
I think the penalty's given to Lyon. I think it should stand like that. There's nothing really to answer, just have a word with both. Basie should know better.
C'est la nervosité de la part des deux. Par contre, ensuite sur l'échauffourée, je vois le 15 qui arrive derrière et qui revient de loin faire quelque chose qui ne sert à rien. C'est simplement le 15 avec sa
fly half scrapping, full stop.
D'accord, très bien.
I think just the pen will suffice. Just have a word, move on.
Capitaine.
Little chat with the skippers, I think, for Alex Ruiz. Just goes to show Dowie, a bit of spice in this game, and these Christmas fixtures that can perhaps sometimes be dominated by kicking. Perhaps the game needs a bit of that.
You can give yourself a nice buffer. You know, you come out of these with a few points. Like I said, the Bordeaux at home. They've got to target that. Poe away, they have to target that. I'm talking Lyon. No, Dillon's French is fantastic, as we know.
Je suis désolé, mais je le subis tous les week-ends comme vous. Et moi, c'est tous les week-ends et c'est pire que vous. Par contre, il faut se canaliser. Hein. Il y aura une simple pénalité contre vous, mais on se contrôle. Hein.
Done. Fine. Sensible.
L'accrochage, il revient de derrière, ensuite il aura alimenté le truc. Donc, il y a pénalité contre lui. Voilà.
Oh, he has reversed it.
Sebastian Bruno and Pierre Mignoni seem a little confused.
Well, I am right. He did give the penalty to Lyon, wasn't it?
He's definitely
Brive went off the pitch. He's
yeah.
reversed it for actually not just going and shaking the back of Bezzy's jacket a little bit. And what a kick that is. Oh my word, that's a little bit more salt into the wound. From having a chance with Michalak, almost guaranteed 3. Here it goes, will we see it? There's nothing there, there's a few hot big shots, but it's a bit off camera. The host broadcaster is showing the big hits. Rudy Wolf getting one. Both sides crabbing from side to side at the moment.
Well, you can tell the Brive are wanting to make a statement without the ball, aren't they? And here they come with an attacking lineup.
Well, this is only going one way, and in one direction.
And they've got the momentum. The big black Brive pack. 10 metres out. Here's Waikana Burutu. He's brought down by the tackle from Evaldi.
That's the third time Evaldi has taken people and taken their legs from underneath him without wrapping their arms.
Here's Koyama Iri Baren calls his troops round to the right-hand side, and on a good line there is Galala, the inside centre. Waikana Burutu once more. The big Fijian. Coming to the near side, inside ball, that's the Koyama Mbale. Lyon had the defensive. Pick and drive now from Zevazine. The Lucet prop on his first start for Brive.
Well, they scored one close to. Are they going to give it a little bit more width? That looks like they
Perhaps
are.
They'll show the width this time, going to the far side, but it's been tapped forward by Michalak. No advantage coming, says the referee. Perhaps they didn't come off a Lyon hand. They'll go the short pass once more, Brive. The Lyon defensive line holding out for now. Here's Sneyman. Waikana Burutu with some help from Zevazine. Charges 6 metres out now, the Brive team. 13-6 they lead. 26 minutes gone in this first half. Koyama Mbale with yet another hit up. Here's Toetu, the try scorer.
Well, Brive don't mind like slowing it down when they get close to the line. I think they'll be quite happy with this. Bowen is there, he'll just ask his forwards to go in, and they'll take that. They'd rather a try, obviously, but they're in the same position, and they keep battering this Lyon line.
Well, it's not the most flamboyant rugby in the world, Darry Morris, but it's pretty effective, and they are obviously convinced this is the way to get through this Lyon team. Well, they keep it tight and keep hitting the ball up.
They play in black, but they don't play like the All Blacks, do they? Not even a little bit. But it works for them, and it's not a thing of beauty, but it's effective. And all the things we've said before, their faithful will just be happy with a victory here. Maybe if they get another try, that'll just ease them into it. Lyon will have to then come out and play. But they've got a game plan, the coach has put it out there, and that's the way they go about it. And they're quite happy, actually, if the side just slows them down even more. They don't panic, they know what they're doing. They do this time and time again on the training panic. Iribarren calls the shots at 9, left to right, Bezzy outside him. And then when it's on, hopefully, the backs may get it.
Shot there of the Brive forwards coach, Didier Cassade. He'll be looking for big things from his front eight once here again. Well, they've already picked up a couple of scrum penalties so far.
That's all that Cassade wants for Christmas. 1,000 scrums and then winning about 999. And get a pen here, they'll take pen, 13-6, but we got 12 minutes to go. Build the lead, build the pressure.
Referee just going in there to stamp some of this turf down. Yet another French ground that peels up at scrum time.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight there. Trying to get purchase from both sides, and one side in black has had the upper hand. A couple of 3 penalties given them, and they'll want to do the same. This will just be rolled into the second row's feet. Come on, ball, he's got it controlled, and now the pressure should come on, and it does.
Iribarren goes in digging for the ball. Scrums broken up. Advantage coming the way of Brive. Here's Germain, offloads it into the hands of Toby Arnold, but they'll go back for the original decision. And what do they do here, Dowie? Another scrum or take the points?
I'll take 3 points. I think the message will come on. You've got to look at the big boys. There you go, 3 points. Carbonneau, he knows his onions, excuse me, that is no pun, but you know what I mean. But this is the way they set the side up. They've got the pressure there. They know they've got him under the pump in a sense. And every time they come to scrum time, the referee is now looking at the side in black. Take your 3, 16. That'll make it 16-6. Change my glasses in a minute. Yeah, 16-6. And that's the way to build a lead. That's the way to win the game.
Yeah, remaining 2 scores ahead in these type of matches, so crucial.
And they're not going to give much away. You watch now the next play. When Lyon kick the ball, it'll be caught. No hassle. The good call will come out. The exit will happen then from the likes of Iribarren. He hoofs the ball a long way, and it's up then to Lyon to play.
Germain, no problem for him. And a 10-point lead now for Brive as we approach the final 10 minutes of this first half. Brive come into this game in 10th spot on the top 14 on 27 points. You look at the graphic there, the possession, 64 to 36. That's what they're all about.
Home advantage, that's what you expect. 10 points coming into half-time, that's what you expect. Well, that's what the stats would tell you. As soon as I said they were going to exit, of course they give it to the fast man in Grenier, who should have actually done better, and they should have exited the same way. Instead of being on their own 10-metre line, Lyon now find themselves on the Brive 10-metre line. So
Daisy gave it off to Benito Masalevu here. Perhaps he's not not used to kicking that much, the former Fijian 7-star.
I did Grenier a disservice. I apologise to the American flyer. No, he's not used to kicking. I don't think the both of them are used to kicking, to be honest.
Well, once saw Grenier pick up a hat-trick in the Heineken Cup. You were commentating on that game, Dowie, and one of his tries was with a chip over the top.
He doesn't need to do too much kicking. Scored a cracker last weekend. Oh dear, that's a big carry.
Amani Paya there with the straight line, that inside centre, and here's Dylan Armitage, the pantomime villain today. And we're just going to have a stoppage in play here because that was a heavy bit of contact there between Nicolas Bazy and Hermani Paya. And Bazy's immediately getting some attention from the trainer, and he may well have to go off for an HIA here.
Bazy's not the biggest, and he's taken a very, very straight, flat ball. Oof, my word, he did well to get in the way. That's not even a speed bump, is it? That's a bollard going out the way.
Well, we saw Dylan Armitage try and tackle Joe Sneyman before in a similar way, and that pretty much exactly the same thing happened. It looks like he's actually okay, just a bit of claret. Just while they make this change, we'll remind you of the rest of the round 14 fixtures before Christmas. Grenoble, that big win over Toulouse. The 7 o'clock kickoffs tonight. Clermont playing Stade at the Michelin. Bordeaux Bègles having lost in Europe. They play Pau. Pau really need a win. Bayonne currently bottom. They play La Rochelle. Racing 92 face Castres in Paris. And then perhaps the match of the weekend, Montpellier playing Toulon. That's second v third at the Altrad Stadium.
Not sure whether the ref, I don't know whether he's...
Still time off here as Hermani Paya gets some attention as well. Perhaps I think a result of the same contact.
But almost definitely. I think he's not actually saying that he needs to go off. We can patch him up. But again, this is what you want from inside centre. Just a big guy at a small guy, head clash. That's unfortunate. But he looks like he's okay. Laranjeria is on for Brive now, so he'll fit seamlessly in there. And Carl Ferns is on that list.
Okay, well that explains it. Well, we haven't seen Carl Ferns today, such a crucial player for this Lyon team this year. Shot of Rudy Wolf there.
Reprise du temps, donnez pour les rouges, la marque est au sol, s'il vous plaît.
Hasn't done much ball tonight. Again, he'll have to want it. These are the type of players, the experienced players, that the international go-to players that, you know, you don't want to let the game go into the last 20-10, especially with Brive's suffocating game plan. You know, you want to give yourself a chance early doors, especially now coming into half-time. So is he going to pop up just inside, outside the fly half? He needs the ball in his hands.
Inside the final 8 minutes of the first half, Lyon trailing Brive by 10 points here, and is Hamani player once again. Crowd don't like something.
Aucune action sur le ballon.
Thibault Privat, all 37 years of him, puts one arm on that ruck and helps the ball come back. And here's Lambay. By contrast, just 22 years old, the gingerhead second rower for Lyon. Some fairly messy passing there, and that's Theo Balan who had to pick the loose ball up. Michalak will pass off the deck, this time to Julien Puricelli, his captain.
Fairly messy structure set up, basically. It's another man down for Lyon, but again, Michalak can't perform his boxer tricks when his forwards are not giving him that quick ball. Everything is too slow, and when it's slow, it's perfect for the men in black. They just come off their line, put their big forwards there and stop. And okay, this time they get it wrong. Lyon will take 3.
Ouais, vous avez fait l'effort, mais le 3 il est couché sur la zone du ballon. C'est un ballon lent du coup.
See who's down, your eyes are better than mine, Rupert.
Well, it's the penalty. I'll tell you what's happened there is the number 3, Patrick Tuetu, the try scorer. He's been penalised for not rolling away, and well,
that's difficult for him.
Well, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He makes his presence felt in the set piece and scoring tries, and he also likes sitting on or lying on people.
Well, it's Rudy Wolf actually, who's struggling to get up here, and
he's going, isn't he?
Take the space, you can't. Okay.
He's hurt his arm.
Clearly taken a knock to the arm. They put it in a sling already.
Yeah, that's it.
Disappointing for Rudy Wolf.
In his first season, Lyon of 2, so I hope that's not as bad as it looks. It's just not a break of some sort. Quite see, he's gone in to clear the man out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that didn't look good.
That did not look good at all. It's one of those, he's taken a hit before the other arm I was looking at's cleared out, and I'm sure that is not good. Well, no.
Well, Thibault Regard, 23-year-old centre, comes on to replace him. He'll probably shift onto the wing.
Medics were on straight away, so that's a good sign. They'll assess it.
Bit of rain coming down here at the Amadei Domenech now. As Freddie Michalak has an opportunity to pick up another penalty, and he has.
Yes, he's missed.
I thought that was going to go over, but they've ruled it out.
I think he thought it was going to go over because these two are such dead-eye dick kickers. They just don't. They use just enough power, and the strike of the ball is languid, and all of it, you know, goes just uncooked. Maybe it was the rain. Maybe it's different climate, different conditions, and he's just missed out.
Thomas Larangera, replacement fly half out there for Brive. He's on for Nicolas Basie, and here's Mike Harris with the up and under this time, and it's been spilled this time by Larangera. So just what Lyon wanted, put a bit of pressure on the replacement fly half. Rain coming down, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes to go in this first half, a bit of field position for Lyon.
Good play from Harris. Put the ball up in the air. Whether he picked out Larangera, I don't know, but obviously that's where the 10 possibly stands when they've analysed it, and he's kicked it perfectly outside the 22. He couldn't mark it anyway. He was under pressure. Tuifu has come up and given him one in the chops, and it's all win-win for Lyon at the moment. Can they convert this now?
I was going to say, I think he had a little sneaky look at Tai Tuifu there, who was coming in his direction.
You could probably hear him as well. If I was Tuifu, I'd have been letting him know. Right, have they got a scrum in him though? This is the problem, because they just want this in and out. They don't want much of a big tight head side from the Lyon. Thomas Cadola, just hold it, just get in, get it to the back, and let Michalak get it out.
Flexion! Lié! Stabilité.
So Brive with the only try of the game so far to Patrick Tuetu from the pick and drive close to the line, and as you say, Dowie, that power once again comes on from the Brive team, but they've managed to win the scrum, but it's gone into a Brive hand and they've kicked it deep, and there's no one at home for Lyon, so Kellen Armitage, to a chorus of boos from the crowd, has to track right back, and the best he can do is dump it over the sideline, and don't the locals love that?
They love that because it's the pantomime villain, but the real pantomime villain is Involdi, the hooker, who can't hook the blooming ball. If he could get his leg, see, it's rolled in almost under the second row's feet. All it takes is a hooker to hook it, and you know I go on about this, Rupert. I know you're shaking your head, in agreement, I hope. But all of a sudden, mayhem happens, one big boot from Laranjera, and look where you are, 22. That's because the scrum was there, it was set, but the ball couldn't move. So if he just hooks it back, the 8 can get the ball away, and then hopefully for Lyon, the movement could have carried on. It doesn't. Oh, it just amazes me.
Attacking line-out is the end product for Brive. Here they come again. With the line-out drive at the back of that is Joe Sneyman. Joe Sneyman, who made a great break earlier on in the lead-up to the Brive try.
I mean, look at the coaches. Mignoni, a tremendous scrum half, so he knows about putting the ball in. You've got Sebastian Brunner, all right, not the greatest hooker, as in hooker the ball, because he's playing in a different time now.
Kick pass here now from Iribarren, but it's been brought down by Toby Arnold. He's got Mike Harris inside of him, and all of a sudden they've started to offload the ball, but Tai Tuifua can't hold on to it, so it'll be a scrum to Brive. But in the context of this match, the little cross kick from Iribarren, Arnold dealt with it.
Merci.
Looked like there was a little opportunity there. Was there a little knock on there from a Brive hand before it got to the hand of Tuifua?
But they're almost trying the miracle pass and the miracle offload. Look where they are. They're down on the 22, just outside. This is easy peasy now for Brive. With these conditions, a wet, slippery ball, they just keep the structure, keep the defensive pattern, and put pressure on. That's really where Lyon is plenty of time to go. They've got all the second half to regroup and rethink. Kick the ball as Brive are kicking it to Lyon.
Reprise du tard en avant des rouges, mais l'épaule noire.
Brive are happy though. 2 minutes to go. Look where they are. It's all about field position. It's all about stats. That's where the handling, passing, catches that aren't the greatest. But I tell you what, this scrum line out done pretty well. Grind teams down.
Flexion.
Only one loss in their last 17 here at the Stade Amadei Domenech for Brive. It's a very, very difficult place to come. Difficult place to get field position or possession. And that's what we're seeing so far.
Well, they just want another 3. They want Germain to have a chance of another 3. There you go.
Penalty coming. Well, Iribarren, the scrum half, went quickly. Not sure Gaëtan Germain would have been happy with that. Give me the ball, mate.
I think he's just chancing his arm, trying it. If he gets away with it and gets through, gets somebody yellow carded, that's an added bonus going into the next 40. But there ain't much decision to be made here with this boy. Give him a chance anywhere in his own half, and they get it there. This time they don't hook it themselves, but the power does come on. And because they've had so many penalties from the scrum, the referee is going to go their way.
And as you said, Dow, it's almost, the seed's almost been sown in the referee's head, hasn't it? I mean, early on it was all Brive, and even though the Lyon scrum's actually improved at moments, he's always going to think home team gets advantage here.
Absolutely, and Cassidy will be in the 4th official, he'll be in the touch judge, he'll be shouting at the referee, you know, we're in charge, you know, we've got the power. And this man has got the power of the boot. Will he extend this lead? So cool.
That's the half-time hooter, as Gaëtan Germain with one more chance to pick up points for Brive, and he makes no mistake. So 19 points to 6 is the half-time score for Brive. And they have controlled much of this first half here at the Stade Amadei Domenech. Joe Sneyman with the break for the Patrick Tuetu try. And it's the home team Brive who have the advantage at the break.
Oui, tout à fait, aux côtés de Julien Puruccelli. Julien, on sent beaucoup de tension dans ce match. Pour l'instant, vous avez du mal à mettre votre jeu en place.
Oui, le nôtre est plus dur parce que finalement ça se joue sur 4 coups de pied. Ils nous pilonnent ici, ils marquent, mais c'est un match où il n'y a aucun rythme. Et un match dans lequel on n'est pas dedans parce qu'on n'arrive pas, on n'est pas essoufflé, on n'arrive à rien à imposer. Alors ils nous contestent les ballons, nous on manque un peu de mobilité, on s'installe dans un faux match où ils sont meilleurs que nous. Pour l'instant on met les fermés et où ils scorent à chaque fois. Donc réglons peut-être déjà ce problème de mêlée fermée, essayons nous de s'arranger pour libérer un peu plus de ballons, pour mettre un peu de volume dans un jeu qui pour la première mi-temps est vraiment pauvre, quoi, vraiment triste.
Merci.
Allez, pendant la mi-temps, on va accueillir sur une partie du terrain le Corrèze Kid Stadium avec les jeunes joueurs de Malmont. On va les applaudir en partenariat avec le conseil départemental de la Corrèze. Et de l'autre côté, le traditionnel concours de pénalité. On va défier Zouzou, on va accueillir les deux concurrents de ce soir, David et Stéphane. Voilà, n'oubliez pas non plus, le café des Monédières est ouvert et vous attend.
Mischievousness.
But Brive beat Lyon is our focus here tonight. And at this end of the table, Dowie, every point is important. Do you think Lyon being down 19-6 at half-time will just go for a losing bonus point, or is it all about the win here for them as well?
No, they've got to take everything that's on offer. I mean, I think it's 13 points from the bottom of the table up to 9th place. I mean, all right, we're only in round 14, 12 rounds to go, there's a lot, but it is so competitive. It just saps your strength, but what a win could do for Lyon would just be fantastic. But they've got to play some rugby. They will now have to play some rugby. They know if they give penalties away, Germain is going to kill them. They know they're going to have to possibly do change or do something in the scrum because they haven't got anywhere of comfort to go to. So they're going to have to come out and play. It's going to be difficult, even with Michelak's skill out there, because the rain's coming down and Brive don't play. They say, come and play against us and we'll kick you back. He's back on Bezzy. So again, he's patched up. And it seems to be going one way at the moment with 59% possession that first half. Brive is all they're concerned with. Don't give that man the ball, just give it to the big plotters.
D'accord, très bien, merci.
Okay, 19-6. Brive lead Lyon. Brive have only lost one game in their last 17 here at the Stade Amadei Domenech. And Lyon haven't won away in the top 14 since 2011. Obviously, they've spent 2 or 3 seasons in the Pro D2 since then, but unaccustomed to picking up W's on the road. Freddie Michelak back to Mike Harris, who clears his lines. Crowd don't like something.
Straight away there, if that's Brive, that's Irreverent, he goes up 40 metres, 45 metres. What's Michelak giving the ball back to Harris to kick it 10, 15 metres? Instantly advantage Brive. I can't work that out. Michelak should be boxing that ball. They shouldn't be at all. They want to play, don't get me wrong, but they've got a whole 40 minutes to do it. Don't risk anything. Just get the ball up there and and do it properly.
Shake of the head there from Pierre Mignoni, the Lyon head coach. He didn't seem too happy with it either.
I can see why, because Michelak should be boxing that out of touch, 40 metres, well, at least another 20, 25 metres up the park.
Guillaume Reeves throws the line out, but it's not straight, says the referee, even though Julien head of the deck brought it down. It'll be a scrum here to Lyon.
I thought they may make some changes because they've under the pump, Lyon. They've got Botha, BJ Botha, obviously ex of Ulster Munster. Paolo can come on, Menini. There's this vastly experienced guys, but they're giving him a go. They're giving him a roasting probably at half time. First 10 minutes, you got to really go for it.
So Mikhail Evaldi will feed this line out for Lyon. And there's Thibaut Privat, the veteran, climbs high and secures that one. And coming at the back is Virgil Bruni, the former Toulon man, who gets the drive on here for Lyon. Looks like they're going to try and suck in a few Brive defenders before they attempt the exit. Here's the captain, Puricelli, with an offload out the back to Michalak, but that pass has gone to
C'est la même
ground.
chose que
However,
pour le 10 tout à l'heure. Le 10 rouge quand il fait
advantage coming, and that's Mike Harris that's been drilled into the turf there.
But why is he being drilled into the turf? Because again, the precision isn't there.
Tano Mignardi, who hasn't got a clean track record in front of the judiciary. Perhaps he didn't hear the whistle.
I think the advantage is going to Lyon, but they're just shipping balls on. Luckily, it probably was a play to nothing, but dear. Got away with it because the Brive throw initially was not straight, so they've got a chance. Now they just need to move up the field. 10 metres after 10 metres. Rose stop. Absolutely start again. So
non, c'est la même chose que la première mi-temps. Le 10 il est revenu dans la zone du ballon et là le 2 revient dans la zone du ballon.
Mike Harris there, former Wallaby fly half. 10 times he played for Australia, holds the record for kicking 24 straight goals in Super Rugby. He broke a few Welsh hearts, I once recall, in a June Test series down in Australia. Mike Harris, a couple of narrow wins for the Wallabies over Wales. Puricelli with a line-out win. Michalak, and here is Mike Harris with a little step off the left foot and shows he's got a bit of running game as well. Perhaps they need a bit more of that, Lyon. Michalak once again, back to Puricelli. Captain taking the initiative once more. This time they go to the far side. Hermani Paya shifts it along. Harris with quick hands, and Belan, Toby Arnold shifts it off to Bruni. Back to Belan. Crowd again getting involved. Michalak with a little pop to Ivaldi, and Ivaldi on the little loop run. Making some good go forward here are Lyon. Trying to find an opening. Loose pass for Michalak. Here's Dylan Armitage. Puts the ball to floor, but back to it is Gaëtan Germain, and he says, I know how to deal with that sort of grubber. I'll pick it up and I'll send it back towards the halfway line. Crowd enjoyed that. 75% of that was very good. It was very direct. Started by Harris. Again, he doesn't attempting an offload. That was the second play, which isn't too bad. Belan taking it through, then Armitage. Where's that going? You know, you haven't got an advantage from a penalty, you're just giving the ball back, and the way Germain kicks the ball, it's been touched by the cameraman, so Bruno looks on. That's Sebastian Bruno, the forwards coach, in dismay. They can reload. Can they do any better this time? Puricelli leading line out taker in French rugby brings down another one. Lyon starting this half well with some possession. It's what they need. Can they turn it into points? That's Koyon Barley going in for the turnover there for Brive, and has he won it? No, says Alex Ruiz, the referee. Not rolling away. Again, Lyon started the first half well, like a crackerjack, turned the ball over in the first minute. Michalak kicks a goal. And then they sort of drifted out of the half. Can they sustain this? Is this Michalak's reign? But it is within his reign. Will he go for it? Just missed one so far. Harris has come up. He can knock him. They may want to go to the corner. They might want a little bit more. They're rolling the dice early on. Yeah. Puricelli, the captain, says to Mike Harris, kick to the corner, and he's kicked it round the corner. And he's missed touch. And at 19-6, with opportunities few and far between as a visiting side, you can't be making mistakes like that.
Didn't need to do it. Did not need to do it at all. I mean, he's going for the 5-metre punt. Just past the 22. You know, he's got the full sort of box of tricks. He can banana kick, but when it comes to it, you want the pragmatic approach, almost like Brive was showing. You want the guy to stand there, boom, put into the corner. Look now, they're going back to that area where they're not very good at, the scrum. And I think this ball won't want to come out too quickly, because they'll just try and squeeze a pen now against Lyon.
So an attacking opportunity missed for Lyon. As you say, one of the stories from that first 40 minutes was all about the Brive dominance in the scrum, and it felt like they did have a lot of go forward, but they're also getting a very favourable view from Alexandre Ruiz, the referee. as he moves both eights away from the turf that's been churned up. And that's Félix Lambé, who's sat down for Lyon. And Christian Jules, the 2-metre, 5-centimetre Cameroonian, has come on to replace him.
Lamby's too happy with that, to be honest. He's shaking his head a bit.
Much better scrum from Lyon, but Brive have the ball. Here's Germain, the full-back, into the line. Masalevu now, play scrum half. Fiji Sevens player with a dart, brought down by Belin. Iribarran gives it to the big ball carrier, Koyam Mbole. And has there been a turnover there for Lyon? Yes, there has. And Freddie Michalak looks for Dylan Armitage. He'll put boot to ball and kick it deep into Brive territory.
Well, that time the kick works perfectly. Mbole has actually been turned over a couple of times.
Different looking clearance kick there from Brive, and Toby Arnold gives it off to Freddie Michalak, and here's Tuifua, runs into contact like he loves to do, and another penalty decision coming here for Lyon. So all of a sudden the odd decision at the breakdown going the way of the visiting side.
Yeah, Ledevedek gets off his feet, but actually it came from, I think his hooker pushed him off the ball, pushed him off the feet to well, that's the big charge from Tuifua, and then he goes over and then he gets pushed and helped. Referee had no other choice to do that. But yeah, they sustained this. They did start, as I said, the first half very well. They've kept it up a little bit, and they do need some points though.
Well, this time they will go for posts. Alex Ruiz pointing towards the sticks, and Mike Harris, having missed touch just a few moments ago to set up the line-out drive just outside the Brive line, this time has a chance to pick up 3 from long range.
And he can reward his team with a big hoof, and he'll need it.
So Mike Harris, former Queensland Red and Melbourne Rebel, with a kick just inside the Brive half, and it's not going to make it.
Right under that.
And Brive run the ball out from their own line. Keen to keep the ball in hand, it seems, the home side. And here's the lively halfback, Teddy Iribarren, with another little sneak round the ruck, and he's helped out by Joe Sneeman. Iribarren puts it on the left foot with the high box kick in the direction of Tai Tuifua, who's found himself in an excellent position to retrieve that kick, saving his little winger from having to take the contact. Referees called it back here. Players gone down in the tackle. Trainers on very quickly indeed. That's Virgil Brunier. I think he's shaking his head to say, why just stop it? The referee said, I had no choice.
Well, absolutely. He has seen something that it's a shoulder clash. It's referee has
there who's gone down.
Well, referee has the right to stop the game at any point whatsoever. He's knocked out. He's out.
We have seen some ferocious contact in this game so far, haven't we? A couple of players have gone off the blood bins already, and Ngalala there, the Fijian, coming off second best that time.
But again, it's good pragmatic play from Brive. Even though they started to run the ball out, there was no chance of an offload for anyone. It was just very direct. Everybody got to the breakdown, and Iribarren then took charge, hoofs the ball down. It's a very, very good line chase. Tuifua catches the ball from Lyon, and then after a ruck they move the ball into the midfield, and there, look, that's where they are. All right, Lyon have still got the ball, but that's where the press came, and that's where Brive want to keep the visitors.
Thomas Larangera's back on.
Yeah, he's on for good now, I think.
Yep, he was on for Nicolas Basie earlier on in the game, a fly half by trade, Larangera. So they're going to have to make some adjustments here, the Brive back line. Fly half coming on for a centre.
Flexion.
Score remains at 19-6. Half an hour to go here at the Stade Amadei Domenech.
Stabilité.
And a penalty at scrum time, this time for Lyon. Used to seeing those go the other way in this match so
On
far,
efface ses appuis et on va au sol numéro 3.
nods of the head from TOP14.
Face d'appui, on va au sol.
Red front 8 saying that's more like it, ref. Give us something
And
here.
the fantastically named Aldous Buckle on the loose head side from Lyon. It looked to me went in. And I'm not going to say buckled in, but he did. You know, the movement was going forward from the Reds, but he just dropped the shoulder.
Great name, Albertus Buckle. It's like something out of Roald Dahl, isn't it? Augustus Gloop and Albertus Buckle in the Chocolate
I
Factory.
wonder if Roald Dahl ever wrote a book about rugby. There'd be some characters in that one.
Well, I wish he had.
Front row in the Chocolate Factory. Who'd be there?
Who would have thought? There'd be nothing left.
Gosh. He wouldn't be short of characters, though, would he, to write about?
Absolutely not. Lyon, though, short of holding on to possession there. Another error from them. Hamani Paya. It wasn't the easiest of passes to take. The line out smoothly taken, but Paya couldn't hold on to it.
What's he doing? You take, you know, big strong boy, Michalak, either hit it to the 10, well, Harris should be at flat, and bringing that guy, Paya, on the ball. It ain't rocket science. You're struggling to get into a game. You've had a bit more possession in the second half. Come back at an angle. You know, Bezzy's there. He's got a bang on his head. They've just done a midfield change with Larangera coming in. You know, come on.
Flexion. Lié.
Some sideline conversations going on here with the Brive coaching staff as they look to be making some changes here. Francois de Ross, replacement hooker Damien Laverne, Lucet Prop and Damien Jourdain wearing the 23 shirt today, available to come on at tight head. And that time we've got a penalty straight arm for the home side Brive, so tit for tat right now.
Normal service resumed at the scrum time. Palmer Bowley's not most dexterous. He's getting this ball out. The movement has gone in. They've swept round on the side. It's come up. They think they've got the ball.
So surely he had a chance to give the ball to his scrum half there. It almost looked like he wanted to keep it in
for the penalty.
to milk the pen.
Absolutely, do it. That's the game plan. It's the game plan all season. Take your points. And if you are strong in that area, you want to get the ref back on your side because he has given a penalty, shock horror, to Lyon. Like I said, normal service resumed. A few more big lads coming on. De Ross comes on. Germain kicks into the corner. Crowd love it, don't they? They want to see the ball going out, zimming out to the wings. They just love these lads to get hold of it.
Damien Jourdain, the number 23, is out there, as is Francois de Ross, the replacement hooker for Brive. So some extra weight in the front row for Brive. There's confirmation, and also Torietu's day is done. The try scorer, good day for him, and Guillaume Reeves has a rest as well. But Lyon have stolen the line out there.
Is it always good to bring a hooker on? It's nice and cold. Really, when you're looking to almost close the game, and then he throws it to Lyon's second jumper in the line-out. No.
Michalak with the clearance, choosing again to kick it into touch, not to keep the ball in play.
There's plenty of time, you know. Score, what have we got? 10 points, so a bit more than that, isn't it?
Here is Francois de Ross, the replacement hooker, former Bayonne man. Let's see if his second line out can go a little better than the first. Decides to go long this time, and it's well brought down by Joe Sneyman. Smooth hands here, I was going to say, by Brive, but it's been picked up by Lyon, and a chance to run away here. Covering tackle from Masalevu. On Thibault Regard, the replacement player. What it all looked like, it was silky stuff from Brive off the line out, but one bad pass, ball goes to floor, and it was Regard who was looking at the try line.
He just didn't have the pace, and he knew it straight away. He's looking left, right, where's my support, where's the fast guys? They weren't there. They do well, Brive, rushing back, but again, it was a good movement, but one mistake, and all of a sudden that game could turn on its head. They tried to run it out, a couple of decoy runners, whereas the normal set would have been kicking to the corner or just one up coming back on the angle.
Deros with another line out, brought down by Wakana Burutu at the back. Looks like Deros has got his throwing
Porteur
sorted
de balle
out.
est amené au sol, et sur une phase de plaquage. Le joueur peut faire le tour. Et venir
Basie,
plaquer.
or is it Jaman with the clearance kick up towards the halfway?
It's about 50 metres and he's just put his team a notch up. Yeah, it's Germain. He's got a languid, lazy action. It's almost side kicks the ball.
Didn't seem to hit it that well either, did he?
He's got a lot of power, whether it's on the floor kicking for the poles or just riding shotgun and swinging your leg around. Yeah, you're right, Rubes. He's hit two right at the back. I keep going long.
Lovely one-handed take in the line out there from Domenico Wakanaburutu. Lovely hands from the 30-capped Fijian. Lyon with a clean line out hit. Here's Mahamani Paya. He's knocked back by Basie, the diminutive Brive fly half. He'll be happy with that. Here's Gaëtan Germain, catch and kick.
La marque.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Has he timed this one to perfection?
Yeah,
Not quite,
yeah,
just going to trickle over the try.
But he has, because they'll have to go back to a 22. It takes the clock down and it fits in with the plan, because the forwards now will thank him. Is Harris going to go long? If he goes long, Germain will take it, pump it back into the corners. No risk rugby.
Mike Harris sends it high. Sneyman's underneath it. A lovely unassisted take here with two hands from Joe Sneyman.
Ballon attaquable.
Gaps starting to open up here around the ruck. Both teams at this point of the game having done a lot of hard work, perhaps feeling a little bit tired, thus the substitutions, but perhaps some attacking opportunities as well. But that kick hasn't worked out for Basie, and it's his scrum half, Iribarren, that's had to track back there and run it out into touch under the intentions of that man, Julian Puricelli.
It was working absolutely to plan. This lad's had a good game, Sneyman. He puts the first ruck up, that's good. They tried to catch and drive, and the second movement was a pod to Kayamboli, the big Fijian. Unfortunately, then the movement is Basie back on the right-hand side into the corner. But again, it's a better line speed from the Lyon defenders. Just get a leg in the way or whatever it was, and the ball doesn't trickle through. So again, they got it back. Can they do anything with it this time? But they need something different.
Privat with the take, but Michalak under pressure from that man, Joe Sneyman. Another good influence for him. Lyon just hold on to it. Harris with the double pump throws a long, wild pass out to Dylan Armitage. Cue the boos from the crowd, and Virgil Bruni, who gets the offload to Armitage, and Tuifua helps out as well. And going in for the turnover is the Brive player, but not supporting your own body weight, I think, is the call from the referee, so the penalty will go against Brive here.
Smaniardi went in front of the ball and stayed over there and didn't support his weight. But it's hair and scare and stuff from Lyon, isn't it? They're just almost looking around, who's going to make the play, who's going to get us up the field, who's going to make the miracle break, rather than working together as a team and working it out.
Looks like we might have an injury here to the referee, getting some attention.
Oh dear.
To his lower right leg, I believe.
Who's the reserve ref?
Bit of magic spray coming on for Alex Ruiz. He looks in a bit of pain. Oh, that's clever. That's clever from the front rower, from the Brive front rower. Tami and Jourdain just saying, "You okay, ref?"
Hey, they're canny players, props, they're the best in the business, mate. I played with Nick Popper when we were in the Lions tour in '93 and Irish international. He was always talking to referees, always getting that, well, not always getting the 50-50 as we see the penalty being given away. He's never supporting his weight there. But just in case there's a 50-50 going, oh, I'll give it to that nice bloke who bought me a pint in the bar afterwards.
Well, they've missed touch, have Lyon. So again, missing the advantage from the penalty. Mike Harris really needs to sort out that part of his game, because they are giving up chances for field position here. And when you got Gaëtan Germain and the other team sending it deep, makes life pretty difficult. Here's Bruni with the show and go, but the Brive defence is up to that. That's a good little contribution from Alex Manini for Lyon. Here's Mike Harris. Mike Harris with the offload, and almost onto that is Iribarren, but he can't quite hold on to it. Mike Harris looking for the offload, perhaps telegraphed a little bit. And Teddy Iribarren was onto it.
But no one is almost on Mike Harris's wavelength. You know, there's no inside runner. Tuifu's, oh yes, you made a break there. I know, look, it's play off the cuff stuff, but you have to have a set move from a line or scrum to get you in, that everyone's on the same page. And you're right, that guy goes in, he's under the post, that's the game over.
We'll just get you up to date with some Pro 12 rugby that's coming your way over the Christmas period. Round 11 of the Pro 12 as the referee Alex Ruiz gets a bit of attention on his right lower leg. Ulster Connaught from Belfast tonight, 7:15 p.m. Same channel we're on now, Sky Sports 2. Ulster currently 5th overall in the Pro 12. Connaught, the defending champions, down in 8th as it stands, but a win there for Ulster at home. Well, that'll put them back into the top 4 as it stands. Lyon, well, after they leave the Stade Amadei Domenech here, they will go home to the Matmut Stadium and they'll host Bordeaux-Bègles. Another big date for Lyon as they continue their quest for survival. Newly promoted club, of course. And then the following week, they head to Pau. Pau, who are just above them on the overall table as it stands.
Should we use that overused word or statement? Must win. Even at that stage, it's...
Well, it was certainly must win for Grenoble last night. That really would have cut them adrift, losing at home to Toulouse.
You could see the reaction of the crowd, Bernard Jackman celebration, and Grenoble, you know, from last year, a shadow of this, of the side. But that's what happens sometimes when it goes against you. A few results, all of a sudden, boom, you're down the base. And look at the top. I mean, there's only 9 points from 1st till 8th in this league. So a couple of quick wins, a couple of bonus points, boom. You know, you're top 4, you're right sitting on top of the table, or equally, you're looking down at a big abyss and thinking, my goodness, all this investment, we're down there. And that's what's on his mind, Mignoni at the moment, with all the money that Lyon have got. They learned the lessons they thought. They came up last year. Yeah, we've got a few good players. There's a few more players on the books coming. Doesn't matter. If you ain't good enough, you ain't good enough.
Yep, Lionel Boxis, the Bordeaux-Bègles currently fly half, has signed for Lyon next year.
Well, he'd give him a structure. I'm not saying Harris is a good player, but he just need a 10 to go, right, okay, we need to be up there. How are we going to get there? We can't use our boot, because every time we use a boot, Germain hits us back 40, 50 paces. Going inside was there. Look at the angle.
Brive loose their prop there, almost scrumming sideways at the moment. Referee's completely ignored it.
As long as it doesn't go down.
Mike Harris with the kick pass over to Toby Arnold. It's come off on the halfway line. Benito Masalebu takes care of him. Michalak back to Harris. Here's Bruni. Virgil Bruni, born in Toulon. Good clear out here from Koyom Bale. It's tied to Ifua, who knocks on this time and shakes his head immediately as if to say, sorry, chaps. Looks like there's another injury. Virgil Bruni, I think, is it, down with the bright yellow boots. He doesn't look in good shape holding the left leg.
Tuifu's there trying to get the ball away. There's this angle with the referees just he's touching the back end of the Brive prop, but it's not moving. Then he says, play the ball. That isn't going anyway, so instead of it going down, you can still play it when it goes down now with the new sort of advised protocol rules to the referees. Just get it in, get it out. And it comes back down to hookers not hooking the ball. It's a very simple art. Specialised art. I come from a time when obviously when it happened, and it should still happen now.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a bugbear of yours, Dowie, but in all seriousness, there is obviously, because of the pressure at scrum time these days, teams feel that they cannot hook the ball, because if they try to hook the ball, they're going to give away the initiative on the push.
They feel, but you talk to any experienced hooker, I can get Brian Moore in here, Graham Dorr, Neil Hitchin, John Olver. And there is a modern trend as well.
Disrespect. What if you got Dylan Hartley in here? What would he say?
He does hook it now. There is a danger, but actually if you do it right and you have the faith and you have the balance of a good tight head and a good loose head, the art is gone. That's what I'm trying. We've got props that are too big. They just want to hit, and luckily the rule changes have happened. They've got a situation now you shouldn't be able to push until that ball comes in. But you know, it would be such a better game.
Well, we saw one of the great games of all time when Japan beat South Africa at the World Cup. And there's a team that went into the game under Eddie Jones and said, we're not going to mess about, we're going to hook it, get it out and play.
Well, Eddie Jones knows, and that is an art. Even with a very, very strong, powerful pack, you can still have a channel one ball with your 8 in there and get the ball in and out before their back row has a chance to go at it. But anyway, it's Christmas, I'm not going to moan. Well, it's not quite Christmas.
You've still got a couple of days yet.
Are you having turkey?
Numéro qui sort, s'il te plaît.
Might go for a bit of the truffle linguine this year, actually.
7. Arrête du temps, Joël.
You Antipodeans. Oh my God.
7.
Beef, ham and turkey. That's it. We're having 3. The kids couldn't decide, so there'll be plenty of leftovers Boxing Day and for the next week. The dogs
TOP14 is out there for
On y va. C'est bon,
Lyon,
viens.
former Western Province captain. Looks like he's going to play on the side of the scrum. Plays hooker as well, of course. He's coming on for Virgil Bruni, who is limping off after picking up an injury to his leg. And there's a turnover at line-out time for Brive, and Masalevu with a slightly unorthodox right-footed kick towards Toby Arnold, his Dylan Armitage. Oh, with one of the worst passes you will see this season.
Oh, no, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. That was a shocker. Dylan, don't let him get to you, mate. Just, that ball should have gone into the bottom left-hand corner anyway. I know you're chasing the game, but you've still got 15 minutes. I mean, Masalevu kicks the ball to you, so you got a free play. And I told you he's not a very good kicker of the ball. Comes back, they've won the line-out. This is a kick to nothing. He's happy.
He's trying not to laugh, I think.
Oh, I don't want it. It's difficult, but you come on. What do you do all day? You pass the ball, you kick the ball, you scrum your line out. This is a professional sportsman paid a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. And again, in games like this, you need your big players to stand up and say, right, okay, if I'm going to pass that ball off my right hand, it's going to go to the guy coming on. It's not going to be down by his ankles, and it's not going to be 10 foot in front of him.
Penalty at scrum time for Brive. Koyambale points towards the post and says, our big man Gaëtan Germain, the fullback, will step up here and snap all those up. Thank you very much. And this will take it to 22-6, and with 15 minutes to go, that could be an unassailable lead for Brive.
Well, again, they've gone back to what they know. Thousands of scrums on the training paddock, but when it comes down to it, it ain't flashy stuff. It's not, like I said, beautiful stuff. It doesn't matter, but it's winning stuff. They've only lost 1 at home. That was Clermont. And, you know, they'll be there or thereabouts. Their away form is atrocious, but this is what they do. And this is what they, again, to come back to, if you've got a kicker like that who literally can kick anything in the opposition's half and possibly a little bit more in your own half when it's straight, he's going to miss this now, just despite me.
Gaëtan Germain, 89% for the season, 100% tonight, and that continues. He won the Golden Boot in the top 14 in 2013-14 and in 2015-16. He is a points machine, and Brive are now well in control of this game, on course for their 7th win of the season.
Well, you don't have to say anything. The pantomime villains given the sort of chance for them to get a penalty away. The big forwards have rewarded, well, the Brive faithful. He's had a good game, Sneeman. Made that break initially for the first try. He can be proud of his, late afternoon, early evening. Not quite, is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, one South African replaced by another. Petrus Hallman out of the Bowen Cavaliers coming on, and there's Tai Tuifua. And it was the Brive number 9, Teddy Iribarren, who had to stop Tuifua on that occasion.
He must be giving away 4 or 5 stone possibly, but that's again the heart and the desire that the crowd love down here. The little lad tackling one of the biggest, up for more. He may be on his way to Racing, but he wants to leave with this team in rude health. They're not going to win anything this year, but they'll be quite happy, I think, in the middle.
Germain, as the ball dribbles away from him, manages to secure it for his team off the Mike Harris kick. And here's Iribarren, who's had a very tidy game at scrum half tonight for Brive. He'll give it back to Bézi. Nicolas Bézi clears it to the halfway line. Tuifua goes quickly. Here's Harris. Harris is wrapped up by Damien Jourdain.
Juste de plaquage.
Titi Paulo.
Well, he can carry a bit as long as he's sort of in a supportive role.
Oh dear. Interesting guy, Titi Paulo, captain the New Zealand under-19s in his first year out of school, went on to make 22 caps for Samoa. Here's a Rugby with the chip over the top, charged down, fallen into a Brive hands. Armitage has to go back, and the crowd are on his case once more whenever the ball goes near him. Brive trying the clear out here, but it's Lyon who have managed to get it back, and Balan, I think, on that occasion kicks the ball towards Germain, who has a bit of time to make a decision what to do next, and he runs into contact. And Lyon here trying to win the ball back, clock ticking down, 22-6 they trail. Rugby looking for a decision from the referee, not forthcoming. Here's Waikana Borutu. Rugby up to Koyamumbole. Turnover from Fury, one of the leaders in the top 14 in that area, Dion Fury. Unsuccessful that time. Interception here from Toby Arnold. Here's Thibault Privat. 37, still going strong. Hint of a knock-on from Michalak as the ref missed it. He may have. His assistant didn't.
The crowd behind the assistant definitely didn't. He carried on playing, but it's difficult conditions out there. But Lyon were in charge at one point, and again a silly drop of the ball. It gives the advantage back to Brive. Kayamaboli at the back there. I mean, he's carried well for them, but I've seen two definitely turnovers against him, and it was nearly a third then. But again, Brive don't matter with this lead, 22-6. We come to the last 10 minutes. Toby Arnold, I guess, the Kiwi did very well. He read that scenario on the right hand side when Brive were attacking up the left, but they can't. There's no one out there almost that's got a touch of stardust. Michalak has it on occasions. It's waning a little bit now, but that's referee hasn't seen it. Touch judge. 5,000 of the crowd behind have also seen it. It's not going to be a good night for Lyon.
Yeah, right before that, Dion Fury thought he had a turnover. Referee didn't think so. Fury's 7 turnovers this season, ahead of this round, leading turnover merchant in the top 14 this season. I'll give you one guess.
Go on.
Steph Armitage, he's got 12.
It runs in, yes, the family Armitage, sorry.
Koyamumbole. He's had another big night for Brive. And here's Teddy Iribarren, scrum half. He's off to Racing 92 this year. It looks like on that performance tonight he'll be a bit of a loss for Brive, Darwick.
Yeah, but again, there's players that come in. I mean, what a Brive. Lyon actually attracted 17 players and got rid of 13. There is a bit of a turnstile. Brive a little bit more conservative. 7 came in and 6 go out. So what they need to do, and what these sort of smaller clubs, in inverted commas, they've still got relatively big squads, is actually get the right player. Bejuan is on now. Again, he can dictate, he can play. France aren't looking for many scrum halves at the moment. I think they've got a tremendous crop of good youngsters coming through.
And there's the replacement, Jean-Baptiste Péjon with the kick forward, and Toby Arnold's got to track back and dot it down behind his own line. Jean-Baptiste Péjon, 36 years old, is the longest serving player in Brive rugby history. There he is with a little dink off the right foot. Played a Junior World Championship in 1999, can you believe it?
Yeah, I can. He's been at the club for, like I said, well over, oh my goodness me, 2000, I think, 2001. But again, read the situation. That's the experience this guy has. Again, good scrum. He's had a word with the number 8. Pop it to me on the left-hand side. They're all expecting it to go out the right. I've put my boots in it. We push him down there, and it needs another 2 minutes. All right, they've got the ball back. They're up to the... But they're asking Lyon, OK, it's up to you now. You've really got to come... And they've been blunt all evening or all afternoon, you've got to say, have Lyon. There's no been a playmaker that's dictated a ball left or right for some big runner to come on and then keep it up. unfortunately, there's been far too many mistakes, turnovers. There's been no fluidity with Lyon, and that's unfortunately the story of their season.
So Brive in control with a line-out win. Domenico Waikanaburutu with the take. They will drive it out, commit a few Lyon defenders as we are inside the final. Approaching 8 minutes here left to go at the Stade Amadei Domenech. Brive on course for their 7th win of the season. This is a club that were first place 3 weeks into the season. They had a cracking start, beat Toulon in Toulon. Not many teams do that. It's been a bit difficult since those dizzy heights to maintain that sort of position. Brive more mid-table since then, but so tight is this table. 27 points coming in, win here, not far outside the barrage spots.
That's right. Are they good enough to go and win it? I don't think they are. I don't think they've got a kicker to win you anything. They've got a pack of forwards on the day, possibly, but there's not a great deal in between that. Is he going off? Well, he's probably another man of the match performance. His mantelpiece must be shaking with the amount of trophies that he gets on there. But again, it was a good setup. Iribarren goes off, Pejuan comes on, nothing changes. It comes back to the 9 at the base, the ball goes up in the air, 3-4 seconds. It's well coached by Carbonell and Cassidy. They've been there, seen it, done it. Brive faithful, famous Brive faces, and they know what they can do with what they've got. And by goodness me, they do it well. They do it well at home.
Benjamin Lapierre, former Toulon player, 30 years of age, is the man who comes on for Gaëtan Germain. Germain, another flawless kicking display tonight. And another penalty at scrum time. We have seen a few of those this evening. This one goes to Lyon.
Yeah, I think they've won 2. BJ Bow has possibly made a difference coming on, but the referee, I think, is probably feeling for them as well. And the concentration wasn't there from Brive. But what does it do? It just adds another minute on the clock because they've got to take this into the corner. Well, not even into the corner, just past up to the 22. And take another 10-15 seconds to set, and it's all going Brive's way. Apart from a brief sort of 3 or 4 minutes in that first half when Lyon came out and played a bit. I mean, they were down sort of 59% possession in that first half, and it's carried on. They've played a little bit better in the start of the second half, Lyon again, but again Brive has been able to come back and pick him off quite easily because they can go to their scrum.
Here come Lyon through Théo Bellin into the Brive 22, where they have rarely been in this match. Dylan Armitage playing scrum half, gives it up to Tai Tuifua. Another poor pass from the visiting side. There's a replacement scrum half that time, Baptiste Couilloux, who we were talking up before kick-off, 19 years of age, star of the Under-20 World Cup in Manchester this year, but it wasn't the introduction that Pierre Mignoni was looking for from him.
No, again, you don't want to look at excuses because all these guys are starting their professional career or very experienced professionals, but a lot of sides that come up from the Pro D have to get the checkbook out early, so you've got guys that are in just for a season or just starting their first year with Lyon, and it takes a bit to bed down, and you have a good start to the season, but all of a sudden you're looking around for people and structures that almost aren't there because you're very under pressure. Sometimes you go back to what you used to do in other teams, or your team that you've been with maybe for 6-7 years. And that's, for me, it's just been too lackadaisical really and unstructured, and you need somebody at 9 and 10. Michelak can give it you there if the forwards are dominated, but the Lyon forwards haven't dominated today.
Putting on a little bit of power here in a scrum late in this game, inside the final 5 minutes. Koyama Mbale, the Brive number 8, has to pick up and clear that up for Brive, and that will be dinked over the sideline by Jean-Baptiste Péjun. There he is, the 36-year-old. Good guy to come on late in the game.
Again, so many times has he closed games out or seen games or won game. you don't have to be, sorry to use it, a rocket science to see the way Brive play. The Brive like to do this, they're in charge. They've got points on the board, and Lyon really haven't got any answers.
Well, perhaps one of the standout stats in this game is the possession in the opposition's 22. 35% for the home team, Brive. 6% of Lyon's possession has been in the Brive 22, and that perhaps tells a story. They just haven't got close enough to the Brive try line.
You ain't winning games, and especially when the scoreline is that big, they've got to score tries. She's just in the 6%. Bear in mind then the percentage of errors they've committed and bad passes. You ain't doing that. It's almost they're just going through the process now and looking at those games. Bordeaux at home, Po away. Is it possible that they're going to have to have a pretty lean Christmas as far as celebration-wise? They're targeting those. The roller coaster, which is at the basement of the top 14.
Pas droit, là il n'y a pas d'option sur le second pas droit, c'est directement une mêlée pour le rouge. Il n'est pas droit, deuxième lancé pas droit, il n'y a pas d'option.
So Lyon, Dowie, they've got this tough Christmas schedule. They go away to Po next week. Po are fighting for their lives now as well. You look at the overall table and it's very, very tight indeed. And that game is hugely important now for both clubs because Lyon are going to go into it having lost 4 of their last 5.
Yeah, and that's it. And it doesn't matter if you've got Bonnet, Fern's coming back. There is that sort of just a little bit of doubt. And it's away as well. Which, you know, it is this tradition in France. It's a mindset. It's as simple as that. There's a lot of overseas players playing in the top 14. It shouldn't be there, but there is that. It still happens. That's better from Lyon, but again, they need more than 3 points. Off they go.
Here come Lyon with a quick tap through their replacement scrum half, Baptiste Couillou. Dive pass from him this time as well. Can they finish with a flourish? Here's Armitage. Cue the boos from the crowd. That ball's gone over the try line and Armitage goes quickly. But they will bring it back. I think the ball might have hit the hoardings, and if that happens, you can't go quickly. It really has been one of those nights for Dylan Armitage, hasn't it? And in a way, Derry Morris, it all started with the tongue out and the baiting of the 3 players early on. Crowd picked up on it and they went, no, we're not having any of this.
I don't think it's Dylan's fault, but yes, he does play into it sometimes. It's one to forget, I think, from 1 to 23. Look, get on the bus, get back, get regroup. Wrap your presents and think of the games to come. He'll know that, Mignoni, and they haven't performed today. They haven't done it right. I've got to say, I don't think the coaches have done very well because they were struggling in the first half in the scrums. They didn't bring anybody on. You know, you've got to be reactive sometimes.
Yet with the team they picked for this game, Dowie, it looked on the surface like they were really gunning for the win here, but it's all about execution on the day. It hasn't worked out.
Exactly, they made 14 changes from Newcastle in the challenge last week, which would suggest to me, and it did have to suggest, they were resting players. These players haven't stood up. There's 4 changes from the team that lost to Cast, you know, at the last round of the top 14. So they've kept probably the team that plays almost regularly in the top 14. It ain't been good enough. Simple as, has not been good enough. The concentration, the precision, the pragmatism has all been from Brive. They're not flashy, not going to win any prizes, but it's effective. Their target is win the ball, win some penalties. Germain kicks it. We'll be midfield, mid-table, and that's it.
So handshakes on the sideline as the score clock kicks into the red, and it'll be the veteran Jean-Baptiste Péjun who will put it over the sideline. The applause of the crowd at the Stade Amadé Domenech. Job done for Brive. It wasn't pretty, but it really is here. But it suits them down to the ground. 22-6 over Lyon. Here's an update of all the results so far. Grenoble with that hugely important win at home, the Stade des Alpes last night against Toulouse. Confirmation, Brive 22-6 over Lyon. 7 o'clock kickoffs tonight. Clermont hosting Stade. They need a win. They're playing Bordeaux. Bayonne, they're bottom right now against La Rochelle. Racing 92, and a different season for them. They're playing Castres. They want to solidify their top 6. And the late kick-off tonight, second v third, Montpellier v Toulon. So here's the overall table. That win for Brive jumps them over Stade Francais as it stands. Lyon, however, remain in 12th, and they remain just 6 points ahead of the relegation cut-off point. Clermont lead the table by 4. Montpellier, Toulon separated by just a point. They play tonight. La Rochelle in 4th. Toulouse and Castres round out the barrage positions. If you missed any of the live action from the top 14 this season, do check up with the highlight show. As ever, all the tries are from the top 14. Round 14, 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Sky Sports 4 also available for you on demand. It's the World Darts Championship, of course, at the Alexandra Palace in North London. Cracking night there the other night. Watch it on telly if you can't go. Day 9, 7 p.m. on the Sky Sports Darts channel. Another good night for Brive in the top 14. This is part of all the wonderful live rugby that's coming your way over Christmas and in the new year. Good night.